Hello 8th grade, I am Mr. Rogers and you're watching the second part of our magnetism videos here on section 1-1. Remember in the first video we talked about kind of where magnetism comes from down to that atomic level inside the atom, what causes magnetism. Now I want to talk more about the rules of magnetism as far as how we understand how magnetism works on Earth. So more the nature of magnetism. So magnetism is the attraction of a magnet for another object. And again, this first really was discovered by humans about 2,000 years ago. It's been on Earth longer than that. Just that's the first time humans kind of put two and two together. And what they had were these lodestones, or basically like magnetic rocks, and they found they attracted other kind of iron ores, and they attracted and pushed away from each other. And so that magnetism, that magnetite, is the element or the mineral that it comes from. And so what they started to notice, the more and more we get into magnets, is there's kind of two ends of a magnet. We have these magnetic poles, or ends of a magnetic object, where magnetic force is the strongest. So north pole points toward the north, south pole points to the south end. And there's two basic rules. Here's really the two big basic rules of magnetism. We need to know these. These are important. Got them? You ready? Write them down, memorize them, put them in your brain. Two like poles repel each other. Two unlike poles attract each other. So like poles repel, opposites attract. That's the rule of thumb there. Now, some other thing we know about magnets is you have a magnet, and if you break that magnet, you have now created two separate magnets. So here's my example right here. We have a magnet, north and south pole, and I'm going to judo chop. I broke it in half. And now, since it's broken, what we've actually created are two separate magnets, each with their own north and south pole. And if we put them together, then yes, these kind of put them back together, the magnetic fields will kind of combine again and create one north to south pole. But when they're separate, they each have their own north and south pole. And if you notice, now this is south, this is north. And so you said these opposites would attract, they want to attract each other. So when we break them, we have two different ones. Now, when we create here, the other big idea down here is the idea of a magnetic field. A magnetic field is a region around a magnet where magnetic force is exerted. And you've probably noticed with different magnets, depending on the type of magnet, they have different strengths. Push objects that are farther or closer to you, depending how strong they are. And again, these moving electrons produce that magnetic field. So the more in sync these electrons are, the more domains are lined up, the stronger that magnetic field is going to be. And so what we can do is kind of map out. Now, we can't actually see magnetism. What we oftentimes do is we draw a diagram to kind of represent what the magnetic field is going to look like. And so we create these magnetic field lines. And these are lines that map out the magnetic field around a magnet. And so when these magnetic field lines overlap or kind of combine, they also strengthen. So what I want to show you guys real quick, here is a typical bar magnet. We have a north pole, we have a south pole. And you notice this is where the lines are closest together. That's where, if you were to see the field line of any magnet, bar magnet, whatever type of magnet it is, wherever these field lines are closest together, that's probably the poles. That is also where the magnetism is the strongest. That's where the most attraction is at the ends of the magnets, these north and south poles. That's the most powerful ends, where really most of the magnetism is in here. That creates that power. And you'll see the field lines are closer together, and the closer together they are, the more powerful the magnet. So, 8th grade. I know this is kind of a short video, but I want to stop here, and I thank you guys for watching.